The Phantasmagorium show proudly presents Set to Stun, a Star Trek show that is an irregular one. Stardate 20225.6. We reflect upon Picard Season 2 and look forward to Strange New Worlds. Your landing party for today is Admiral Foley and Lieutenant Junior Grade Scotty R37. Without further ado, energize.
And we are live.
Ahoy, Admiral.
Hey, man. What's going
There
on?
be whales here.
There be whales here.
Oh, so what's going on?
Some Star Trek dropped.
I know, a whole bunch of it.
Whole bunch of it.
I am...
I'm sorry to interrupt there. I thought it'd be great to talk about Strange New Worlds. We both saw that premiered yesterday or last night. And I think we'll do that. And then I think we can talk a little bit about Picard as well.
Sure.
Or the disaster that I think Picard ended up being. But yeah, dude. So there's a lot to talk about. I guess I'm just going to jump in real quick and say I absolutely loved this first episode of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. In fact, afterwards, I think I jumped on the group chat and the Facebook friends and said, this is the Star Trek that I've been waiting for from all this new Star Trek that we've been getting. This is the one I've been waiting for. Now it can completely go off the rails, just like Picard did. So I'm cautiously optimistic still. They have not earned my respect or my admiration for that whole crew yet. I'm not talking about Strange New Worlds. I'm talking about the people who make it, because they've been crapping the bed pretty regularly with these shows, in my opinion. But this is a great start to what I think is going to be a great show. And if it is, it may signal that they're not as tone deaf, the makers of the show, aren't as tone deaf as maybe we thought, and maybe they're like, okay, we hear you, let's make a show that's actual, an actual Star Trek show and not some silly nonsense like we've been doing with Discovery and the 2 seasons of Picard. Anyways, so that's what I thought. We can really get into the minutia of it later, but I'd like to know what your thoughts. We haven't talked about this yet, so
no, we haven't.
First time actually talking about it, face to face. So, what were your initial reactions? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think?
I enjoyed it because it was an episode, but sort of with different franchises around going on right now. It felt like an episode that you needed to know what had happened previously.
Well, okay.
And specifically, like, this does, like, the first episode does call back very heavily onto an episode of Discovery. And then, which also calls back heavily onto an episode of the original series, 3 episodes of the original series. And so, while I enjoyed it and it tickled my things, I'm still sitting there going, like, is this just jangly keys? Is this jangly keys? And
well, so I my response to that real quick, and I'll let you continue, obviously, but I think the nature of the show was kind of born out of that Discovery. So I think harkening back to that show makes sense just to kind of pick up where, kind of where that left off. So I get that. I don't see jangly keys there. Some of the callbacks to the original series, I see jangly keys there. But I didn't get that vibe at all from the show, as this is just going to be jangly keys. I could be proven wrong, obviously.
But I appreciated the format of it. It's also strange. And I think it's a strange new world.
It is.
I think it's one of those things where the premieres of Star Trek shows used to be 2-hour extravaganzas, and now like even the first episode of Discovery was only an hour, although they released it as a two-parter.
Right.
But that was kind of weird. And so with this, I don't know. I wanted a little bit more grandeur. I think Anson Mount as Pike is great.
Yes.
Like so far, the cast has not made me angry.
Right. Which in my opinion is a huge step up from what we've gotten so far in the previous shows. Like Discovery, I'm pretty much angry at all of them wimpy little people on that show. With the exception of Picard, in Picard both season 1 and 2, especially season 2, the crew I like more than Picard in the show. So there's that.
Well, and also the lady who plays Nurse Chapel.
Yes.
Really big a fan.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? There isn't anybody on the cast that I'm like, I don't like you. Like there are things, but even Ortega's.
Ortega. Yeah.
She has like a Tasha Yar badass thing going
Right.
on, and I don't know the name. It's very early on in the series, so I don't know the name of the actresses.
Number one, the not Rebecca Romaine. Number one is her name is actually Laana Noonien Sung,
which I don't like.
Right, so, we don't know yet. Right, I don't know yet. It's too early for me to just say I don't like that. Period. But because I don't know where that's coming from really, or where it's going. But I loved her character. I like her character. She reminds me of the lady from The Expanse. It's not the same actress, but wow, they look the same. They look similar, and they have that same kind of vibe, drama from The Expanse, which I loved.
Okay, first things first, I would like to say hello to everyone in the chat. So happy to have you here. Mr. Brown Alliance, Todd Michael, son of a red shirt, Jill. The reason I said that today's landing party was going to be is because you are still committed to a landing party. You will be called for duty eventually, if it's not too much trouble. Cinema Gulp, thank you so much. And we are going to go through the chat, Steve and I, after we get through our stuff, because quite frankly, we enjoy an audience, but we'll get to you eventually. Like, let's be honest. Too much. That was too harsh.
Too harsh. That was too harsh, Picard.
Oh, we'll get there.
Name that episode. It's called The Chase.
That was too harsh, Picard? I don't know.
Yeah, I was too harsh, Picard. From The Chase.
Oh, wow. The Chase.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that episode.
It's a great episode.
I think it's one of the only episodes that has Romulans, Cardassians, Klingons, and Federation in it. And now that I say that out loud, I forget that I'd actually seen Deep Space Nine.
Right.
Because there's a lot of that.
But I think it's definitely the only TNG episode with all four.
I would say so. I think so.
5.
Correct us in the chat.
Yes.
But no, I don't like. Okay, so the thing that you just made me realize is that remember how she's recounting how she was expelled from the Gorn or whatever?
Yeah.
What if that's her cover story for being expelled from SETI Alpha 5?
Right. That's what I said. I don't know yet. We don't know shit yet. Right.
But that's jangly keys. You're being fooled by jangly keys.
Maybe. I mean, but it's not.
Noonien Singh is a notorious name.
I don't. So I think we have a different definition, at least in this instance, of what jangly keys are. Right.
Okay. Sure.
Because I think alluding to and doing tie-ins to what came before is not jangly keys just for the sake of look, we don't have a story to tell, so here, this is jangly keys. I don't think that's this. So I think my definition is a little different for this. I think they have stories to tell. Whoever's writing this particular show, it seems like that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a strange new world each week, or for how I don't know how long the show is. I don't know if it's 8 or 9 episodes or 13 or what they decided on. But so we're going to get, an adventure of the week, basically, which is kind of what I want, especially after, watching Disco and not liking that much and hardly at all. And then the garbage that was Picard season 1 and 2.
Well, and instead of assuming that everybody knows what we're talking about, even though everyone knows what we're talking about, Strange New Worlds is a new Star Trek show that is set in the years of Christopher Pike, who would have been the second captain of the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D, or E, or J.
None of those.
So,
J's a great looking ship, though, by the way.
I find it too pointy.
Yeah, it's nice, though. You can be right.
And so this will follow Captain Pike. Spock was the science officer, not the first officer. First officer was number 1, originally played by Majel Barrett, now played by Rebecca Romaine. And it's the primary selling point of Strange New Worlds is that it is going to be episodic as opposed to serialized. Up until now,
it's a 55-year pickup, the longest in television history. So basically, this was the pilot that they didn't make the show off of. So the way the producers and writers are going into this thing is that they're taking that pilot from 55 years ago and saying, okay, this is the continuation of that pilot, with obviously with new actors, and that's kind of, it's almost in a way it's a what if we would have done, if the Pike show had gotten picked up and not changed, this is what would it kind of where we would have gone. Now, obviously, that's going to be different. It's not going to be, it's not. They're not trying to retcon canon or anything any more than they already do. But it's like that was a selling point for me, because I thought, oh, that's great, because these are kind of the stories not told, right?
Yes. However, there are certain changes that have been made.
Yeah. Well, yes, obviously, because it's 55 years later. So,
well, we're lacking Dr. Philip Boyce, the inclusion of Lieutenant Uhura, Cadet Uhura,
which I like, by the way. I thought that was a nice.
I thought she was really good as Uhura.
Yeah, that was a good touch.
Yeah.
What about the Elder Kirk? What do you think of that?
George?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. That's not his. Okay. Is it Sam or was it George?
I think it was Samuel, right? Is that what you call him?
If it was Samuel, then that's his brother who died at the first season finale.
Yeah.
Which is basically Shatner wearing a mustache.
Right.
And so the actor who played Kirk in this episode will eventually end up playing Kirk.
Yeah, but that's not maybe.
But anyway, no. It was sort of a bait and switch. But I don't know what they were baiting and switching.
Yeah, okay.
Like it was that was a jangly key. They kept saying Kirk.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Like he's on the Farragut right now.
Yeah, no.
I think Lieutenant James T. Kirk was on the USS Farragut.
Right.
At this era.
Yeah. No, I think this is the brother. I think, right? As far as I know, I have to go back and watch it again just to make sure. Because it goes quick. It's quick because they refer to him as Kirk, and I think Pike says his name once at the end, and that's it.
Right, but I'm getting my Chris Hemsworths and my star or original.
I mean, that's
series.
cool. I mean, we'll see where that kind of goes.
But it was, and that's not jangly keys. That's sort of a throwaway joke, I guess. But it does sort of mess with things. The Noonien Singh, I think, messes with things a bit.
Maybe.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Don't forget how unabashedly optimistic we were at the beginning of Picard season 2.
Look, I know, and that's why I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic here. I think the actual structure of this show lends itself to being better because it's episodic, or it's more episodic.
Well, and Jill has a good point in terms of the retconning of Amok Time.
You want to read it?
Anti-derivative Jill says they are retconning Amok Time. Spock isn't supposed to be sexual until he goes into Pon Far or meet T'Pring. Until then, yes, it's a total retcon. I'm going to have to go ahead and push back on that one a little bit. Just because Pon Far happens every 7 years for an adult Vulcan.
Right.
He had to go back to T'Pring. Like, I'm assuming that he's had sex with T'Pring twice. How old is Spock in Amok Time?
Don't know.
I don't know if it's a whole retcon, but it's close. I was curious about that. I have to rewatch Amok Time. It is springtime, and I am deeply in Pon Far.
Right. Isn't that all the time for you, Scotty?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Thank you. That
Winter, spring, summer, and fall.
That is on my Tinder profile. I am constantly on Pon Far.
Okay, so we both did like. Is there anything you didn't like at all about the show?
Blatant disregard for the Prime Directive. I didn't like that. That's not something you pull out on the first episode.
I don't know.
I didn't like the emergency medical transporter from the
General Order 1.
General Order 1, which they rename at the end of the episode and say, "Oh, they're going to call it the Prime Directive," that'll never stick. No, I honestly, to be completely fair, I think that this show was simplistic, a little bit in the shadow of the Orville, to my liking. But it hung so very well on the likability of the cast.
Yeah.
And the charm and the brevity. Like, it was very quick.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good, that is an episode of Star Trek. Now, because we haven't seen that in decades.
That's probably why I'm liking it so much. Because
me too.
This is what I wanted from the beginning.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, no, originally what I wanted from the beginning was exactly as it was proposed when it was first announced. When Discovery was going to be an anthology show, but it would go season by season.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
That would have been amazing. But now that they're not going to do that, because actors don't like getting fired.
Well, no, not only that. It's just, well, you could have done it. You could have done it the same way that American Horror Story did it.
Well, and that's what I was thinking. That would have been cool too.
Yeah. So there's a way to do it and keep the actors so that it's not a new, fresh set of actors each season. But
Agreed.
It is what it is. I mean, you know, I haven't been a big fan, not only of Bad Reboot, but of Secret Hideout, or whatever they're calling the TV version of Bad Robot.
Oh no, it was produced by Secret Hideout. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So everything I've seen so far, and I was, like you said, I was so optimistic. The first 2 episodes of Picard season 2 actually had me like, oh my God, they righted the ship. You know, we're gonna get a good season of Picard, and nope. That episode 3 on each episode got worse than the previous one.
I was in the parade with you, hoping, wishing, praying.
They had so much good material. They had the Bell riots that could have gone to San Francisco and did all of that and had Cisco there or something. But no, we have to make it ridiculous.
Well, but I don't think Avery Brooks is really in the market to coming back to television. So
you didn't even if you don't show him, you know, you could dance around that too. There was still a way to do it.
But the thing,
do a good job of it.
Well, we'll talk about Picard when we transition over to Picard.
We will.
So anyway, the plot of Strange New Worlds is that there is a Federation vessel who is investigating Um, a first contact situation. There is a warp signature on a planet. It starts with a K. I would be a terrible ensign. So they go there and then they lose contact. Pike, being fresh off of, or at least like still, well, a long beard away from having seen his own ultimate fate, is back on Earth with Tango. Do you remember Tango, the horse?
Yes.
Maybe I have some sugar cubes, Tango.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they're riding, and then the shuttle comes down. Admiral Robert April is there. He's too young, but he convinces Pike to go and investigate this first contact situation because it was number one, Una.
I absolutely love the actor who played Admiral April.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good.
I like him in other stuff too. So I hope he sticks around for a little bit. You know, we'll see.
But that also becomes one of those things where if you're such a stickler for canon,
well, you can't with this. I mean, not with this new crew making this Star Trek. They don't give a damn. So
no, I know they don't give a damn, but you can't. If you are one of those people who will not forgive them not giving a damn, I understand.
Yeah. Continuity, schmontinuity.
I'm a big fan of continuity, bud.
Me too, man. But we're not getting it with this new stuff.
No, that's true. But that doesn't mean it's forgiven.
No.
So anyway, Admiral April says, "Come on, Chris.
Come on, you can do it, buddy.
You got to do it." And there's a beauty shot. Like there's a beauty shot of the NCC 1701 from the Discovery timeline, and it is good.
Yeah.
It hints at the motion picture without actually fulfilling it.
I'll tell you what I did like about the effects and especially the ships and the space stations. I love the look of them. They were shiny and new, obviously, but they weren't sleek yet. They still had like a structural, excuse me, steel construction look to it.
Well, they had parts that stuck out. It's not all smooth.
Right. Yeah, it was angular and not next generation round. Not everything was rounded, which was cool. It was cool to see that. Even the shuttlecraft was angular and more, you know.
Well, and if I recall correctly, I think that's a Discovery era shuttlecraft. So you've seen them before.
Yeah, but I really like the way they looked in this. But you know, I can say the same thing about Discovery. I really like the effects in that show as well. I hate everything else about it, but the effects are great, brilliant.
Well, and you know, Nikki, you bring up ahoy, by the way. You bring up a good point. Nikki Cunningham says, "I like that there was a sense of command structure and very little crying."
Me too. God,
I did it.
My biggest gripe about Disco is everybody's crying and puking their feelings all over each other in every single moment.
Well, and we've had so many conversations. I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated that these people do not do their jobs.
Yeah.
And
well, you would never, as the flagship of the Federation, if you were in charge of staffing it, you would never staff these people. They would be, you know, not even the lower decks. They wouldn't be anywhere near the Enterprise. So
what ship did you get? Oh, I got Enterprise. What did you get? Oh, I got Discovery. I'm so sorry.
Neither one of them are. Those people are horrible. Anyways,
you know that Jet Reno, she's a bitch. So we travel to the Enterprise, and Captain Pike is haunted by the images that he saw in that episode of Discovery, where he sees himself being hit by the gamma rays, Delta Ray, and that disfigure, cripple him. Pardon that. I'm sorry, but they do. And so he sees that, and he's like, he knows when he's gonna die, or at least be trapped in his own body. he doesn't see the happy ending that happens. But anyway,
Right.
spoilers from 1966. So he's haunted by this, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he sees
Not-
those. He sees that in reflections, which I thought was kind of cool. Cool way to show
Jill
that.
says he thinks he's going to die, not realizing he will live to beep again. Is it 1 for no and 2 for yes, or 2 for 1 and no for yes? But never mind. So he's haunted by these visions of his own sort of disability, and but he still is going to go and rescue Una, which I guess only in command situations we're going to call her number 1. Does she have a last name?
I don't know. She
Una
does.
Thompson. Oh, Una Thurman.
There you go.
So they go to the planet, investigate things. They get fired upon. Okay, wait. We have to go through the crew. We got Ortegas. We have the navigator. I don't know her name. We have Uhura. We have Kyle, who is now, he used to be like an Irish guy. Now he's a person from Asia.
Right.
Which
Asian.
is fine. I don't really care. Although it seems really early for Chief Kyle to be on the Enterprise.
Maybe.
That seems like a little bit of a jangly key, but if you're going to introduce a Chief O'Brien and we're going to get a Chief Kyle, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
And who's the lady who is ejected? Who's the Khan Noonien Singh lady?
What do you mean? Who is she?
Well, what is her rank and role?
Oh yeah, so she's number 1.
Yes,
she's number
security
1
officer. Yes.
At the end of the show, when Pike offers for her to stay on the Enterprise, she stays as the security officer.
Okay, which is cool.
Yeah,
I always thought they did Tasha Yar dirty, so I'm always happy to see
totally.
But it's part of the reason why I do appreciate somewhat of the alienation, the emotional distance and whatnot of a female security officer, and that traveled over into the Orville as well.
And then we get Nurse Chapel and the Doctor, which I love that actor, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But
I know the character name, but I don't know the actor's name. He plays Dr. Mbenga, and he was actually in the original series. And he is an expert on Vulcan physiology, which I find great. He was only in 2 episodes, but that's fine. Dr. Solar from TNG was only in 1.
Right. So that rounds out the crew that we know of now.
So anyway, we have acting number 1 in Miss Singh or Ms. And Spock. Does anybody else go down?
Spock.
No, it's just the 3 of them. But Chaplin and Mbenga do like all the genetic manipulation to give them undercover looks.
Was cool. I like
that. Was cool.
That was a great
and the makeup effects were pretty rad.
Yeah, they were really good. And we did forget about Cadet Uhura. We mentioned her earlier, but
we did mention her earlier, yes.
Running down the crew, she's there and she's wonderful.
Well, and she's lovely. Like, and that's the thing is that and we'll get to it when we get to it, but there's a point and she's just like, it's funny to see someone play Uhura, and it's just like, it doesn't matter what language you're speaking. Her job is communication. If you compare Uhura in Strange New Worlds in this 1 episode, better than Guinan in all of Picard season 2.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but understandable. Anyway, so they go to the doctors, they get their prosthetics, they make disguises, and then they go down to the planet because they have to go and rescue Una and 2 science officers who were there, who were investigating a warp signature on this planet, and they beam down to find out whether or not this civilization is warp capable. Spoilers, they're not.
Yeah. And
so,
it was the acting number one before they beamed down that actually kind of figured that out. That we were, hey, wait a minute. You know, this is something's off here. We need to shields up, you know, red alert, you know. So that was, I mean, I thought that was good. And that was a good precursor to what, you know, what they're told when they actually find Rebecca Romaine's number one imprisoned on this planet. And then she gets the lowdown. She gives the download to Captain Pike about the fact that, yeah, these people, they didn't create their warp capability, or what they called a warp bomb. They didn't create it. They stole it, but they actually stole it from the Federation.
They did not steal it from the Federation, if I understand what you're referring to. And this is the thing. Well,
yeah, it wasn't theirs to take.
And we'll get back to Alara. But those 3 officers were the only 3 on the Archer for reasons. Nikki replies, how were they the only 3 crewmen?
Yeah.
And then they don't say.
They don't say, which is a big plot hole, or not plot hole, but it's a big mistake in the episode.
I interpreted it differently when they sort of hummed and hawed about it. So anyway.
So where's the rest of the crew? They didn't get rescued? They get to sit in their cells?
I can't talk about it until we rescue them from the prison cell. Will you just give me a second?
Go.
So they beam down, they get in. Also, the way that they're all transformed and security changed is because of like a vaccine or something. Like it's a genetic modulation manipulation. Yeah. And so they beam down, they infiltrate themselves into the planet. And then like there's tension based on you have to beam this medicine into Spock.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
The genetic manipulation that actually gives them these aliens appearance.
Yes.
For some reason, the Vulcan physiology does not. It doesn't last as long as the human physiology, so it wears off really quick. So when he go to use the eye scanner, they figure out that, man, we gotta give him a booster shot, or else he's gonna fail the eye scanner.
The retinal scan.
Retinal scanner.
And he almost does, and they build some sort of artificial tension in terms of Chief Kyle being able to use a transporter properly, and he does eventually, which is ingenuity, but they don't really say how he does it. He just does it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Spock and Pike and security, or number 1 at this point, but security officer Singh gets into the place where they think the bomb. No, are they looking for the bomb, or are they looking for Una and the crew?
The crew.
Right. So they get in there and they're going and they're finding and they're, yes. But then after they rescue, so they get to the cell where you've got Una and the 2 science officers. Una is saying that the reason she was investigating, although it contradicts the beginning, she does realize that the entire reason that they have a warp signature is because of telescopes and astronomy, which was revealed during the wormhole of the end of the 2nd season episode of Discovery.
Right.
Which gave them information about warp fields.
So basically they stole information because it was close enough to their planet that they detected the ongoing, or the goings on.
Now, Steve, can I see you at camera 2 for just 1 second?
Sure.
Are we getting hung up on technobabble?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
But that's kind of what we do as fans. So yeah.
No, I know. But I don't want to, like, overall I liked the episode.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting hung up on technobabble and the logic behind the fake science.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's silly, but I mean, that's what we do.
But like, it does have to be consistent in the storytelling, yeah?
Yeah, but I think it was consistent. It was pretty consistent. I didn't see it as inconsistent.
Well, in the themes of it all. Like,
because in that cold open, you see this alien race looking, using their space telescopes and monitoring, for lack of better terms, and they see. Well, I don't.
Well, like the giant wormhole that goes to the future.
Show that part in the beginning, though.
Right.
And that's something I think Rebecca Romaine, number one, learns after she's captured. I think that comes to light after, so she's able to inform Captain Pike about that. That was the way I read that situation, anyways.
Either way, the reason, and I was sort of bringing it up to try and respond why there are only 3 people on the ship. Maybe it was covert, but yeah, I know. I'm scrambling.
Yeah.
So anyway, they rescue the crew of the Archer, and nice shout out to Archer. But as they're going, Spock loses Spock by Ethan Peck. Ethan Peck does a great job as Spock, in my opinion, at least in this show. I didn't really watch Discovery when he was Spock, but I like Ethan Peck, and I think he pulled it off in this episode.
Yep.
And his disguise wears off. It's incredibly painful. He screams. He turns into an alien, and Pike says, "Well, then let's roll with this."
Right.
Take me to your leader. And he goes to the leader of the wherever they are, like one faction of the planet, and says, "You can fight. That's fine. I can't do anything." And it eventually turns into the leader of the planet, or the leader of the faction on the planet that Pike interacts with, says, "Whoever has the biggest stick wins." And so Pike says, "I have the biggest stick," and brings the Enterprise down. And again, this bothers me. Just the revelation to an entire world, willy-nilly.
Yeah.
To say
but it worked. I've always had a problem with starships in atmosphere of worlds. I've always had a problem with that. I know it's been done. Voyager did it a couple of times, or at least once.
The original series did it.
The original series did it. So it's always been kind of, I don't know, whatever. But it works, and it works to great effect.
But every time it happens, I think about it. You're right. I am there, and I'm just like, so thrusters?
Right.
What? It must make a lot of noise. So basically, Pike introduces aliens to an entire world, which brings together the 2 factions that are at war. He tries to tell them not to blow each other up.
And he does so by basically showing the history of his world.
Oh, no, he just turns on CNN.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Or Fox News. I don't care where your bias is. He turns on the news.
Yeah. Turns on the news.
And says, this is what was happening when this was filmed.
And this is what's going to happen to you if you keep on going the way you're going.
Exactly.
Destruction.
And then out of nowhere, he offers membership to the United Federation of Planets, despite the fact that they are clearly not ready.
Yes. Because that's what you do when you're Captain Pike.
Well, you're supposed to be nice.
Well, yeah. Look,
he did feel responsible about providing warp stuff.
it was it's an impossible position, right? What do you can't unring that bell. Bell's
Right.
rung. So Pike
But
does what the only thing that Pike could do in that situation, and that's why the Federation at the end says, "No, prime directive now. This isn't just General Order 1. This is a prime directive."
no, but the thing is, and the reason why it's all resolved is because it's based on the discovery going into the future, which is something that we do not talk about. It is like Fight Club. And so the reason that it is not a violation of the prime directive is because it is in response to something that never happened as far as Starfleet or the United Federation of Planets is concerned at that time.
Right. Anyway.
Either way, so they beam back up. The planet is inspired by the Enterprise, or at least in the same way that Earth was inspired by the Vulcans, which they do make reference to.
Yeah.
Spock says the Vulcans invented first contact, and Pike says, which you never stop reminding us of.
Right.
But yeah. And so then they, as it should be at the end of a Star Trek episode,
I actually like that exchange.
We're done.
That exchange actually reminded me more of Enterprise, which I dug.
That was good. And also I liked a briefing room briefing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, cool.
It was information without emotion. And thank God Spock was giving it. Sorry, did I say God? I meant Feklar.
So basically the end is, Pike's now back to, he was reluctant to go back to work, but Pike's now back to work. He offers the security officer's job to his former number one, and then that's pretty much where we end, right?
Well, and then Lieutenant Singh becomes the security officer officially. She requests to stay aboard.
Yeah.
Which is dope. It's great.
And then Pike gives a great little speech. Basically, it's the opening, Yeah. What are we gonna do? And this is we're gonna explore, and what gives that to boldly go speech, and which I thought was great. And I sat back on my couch, and I said, finally a new Trek show that doesn't suck ass. Now, the rest of the season can be complete garbage. I fully, understand that, and I get
you do.
But
I know you do.
If this stays true to form, I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season, because man, did Picard really let me down.
Well, and when it comes to Picard, I tune into Picard because I have to. I have a need. When I tune into Strange New Worlds, it'll be because I want to.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, I don't have an emotional sort of mooring between me and Strange New Worlds. With Picard, I do. And so I can't just throw that old man away. But like Prodigy, I've never seen. Lower Decks, I think, is cute.
Nikki says some critics got 5 episodes, and they said it's a lot of the same as episode 1. Well, that actually, yes. Some of the behind the scenes making of stuff, they said basically, each episode is kind of its own thing. We visit a strange new world each episode, which I think serves this season way better, and this new show better than what we've had previously with Disco or even Picard.
Well,
but
I hope that there's a variety. I hope that there's a variety of the same, because that's fine.
Yeah.
But if and part of the reason I was just getting bored with Picard.
Well,
anyway,
just meandered, and just like season 1 did too. Well, I guess that's a good transition. We can transition into
Well,
Picard.
we have to close the book on episode 1 of
I thought we did that.
Strange New Worlds. So out of 5, what do you give?
Oh, 5. Yeah, I'm in.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid.
There was stuff that made me mad, but more that made me happy.
So
Now,
that's 4 out of 5 pips for you and 5 out of 5 pips for me.
well, there are only 4 pips. So let's
Well,
go. If we're going to deal with our ranking
are
structure,
4 lights.
there are 4 lights. So, okay. So out of 4 pips, you
4
give it
pips.
4.
Yeah,
I give it 3. I give
Okay.
it 3 pips.
3 pips and 5 pips. Now, 3 and 4 pips. I did like it. I thought it was great. And probably for all the wrong reasons. I've liked it so much because of the crap that came before it.
3 pips is not a bad rating.
3 pips? No, 3 pips is a good rating. Out of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have that ranking. No, Nikki, you have to adhere to the pip structure. The pip structure.
So I don't want to spend a lot of time on Picard because
Neither do I.
We've already talked about it. I mean, the show is garbage. But
yeah.
I'll let you. And I don't want to. We don't need to walk through the season or anything. Like we did with or even the season finale. But what did you think overall? What did you think of I actually thought the finale of the show was okay. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was okay. And overall, I just thought it was garbage. What did you think, Scott?
I thought it was a mess. I thought it was like I remember back to being in preschool and making finger paints.
Mm-hmm.
And then just smearing paint all over something that was slippery. And then it turned out to be nothing but a mess.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I mean, there's so much.
Fine.
There's actually so much bad in there. There's so much bad in the Picard.
Well, okay.
Strong, and then it just got really bad.
So. Then I will say my favorite part. I honestly only have one favorite part. Two. I have 2 favorite parts. Components of Star Trek Picard. That is John Delancey, even though I know he had nothing to work with.
Right.
But he's still, oh my God, that man is a legend. John Delancey is, so good.
In that part.
So good. And even the contrived moments, it's just like, you are too good for this show.
Yeah.
And then also Alison Pill. Agnes Jurati is one of my favorites. I don't think that the character really, I don't know. She'd be awesome if she were in The Expanse.
Yeah, right.
Like if she were in a cyberpunk thriller, it'd be like, yeah.
I hated the whole Borg Queen thing.
I liked that sort of.
I did. I didn't at the beginning. I'm like, that was the one thing I didn't like about the beginning of the season. Her becoming the Borg Queen. I saw that was telegraphed. Yeah, that was easy to figure out. That
oh my God! Did you see when she at the end when she's the Borg Queen and it was that horrible CGI on that horrible CGI?
Oh, dude.
That was the worst thing.
And I'm like, ugh. But that reveal was, I mean, that was telegraphed. You knew that was happening.
And the space laser at the end that came out of nowhere?
Yeah, well, what the hell is I don't know, man.
No, if you haven't seen Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Patrick Stewart season 2, don't.
Yeah, there's very
go back and watch Next Generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And Deep Space Nine.
Anything before 2005.
Everything was better than that. I mean, it is really bad. The first
wait, I like the lady who played Laris and
yes, I did too.
She was good. Orla something or other.
Yeah, Orla. I can't remember her last name right now.
Orla Irish. She was good. But no, everything about it was just, I don't know. It's like a bunch of people who are doing the same thing, trying to come to a collective goal, but they're all in their separate
Well,
cubicles
and
and they
they,
only communicate through email.
if you're gonna do a big, let's go back in time Q lesson to Picard, and then halfway through it say that there's no consequences and none of this matters. You blew the whole construct of the story you were trying to tell. It's just really bad. It's badly written, and it's just horrible. They tried to wrap it up at the end in a tidy little bow, and I guess you can say they did so.
Well, and also they fucked up the Clone War, or not the Clone Wars, the Eugenics Wars.
The Eugenics Wars. I don't know what the hell they did with that. Blew it
Why?
all. Oh, and dude, the Wesley Crusher Traveler coming. Oh, dude, you could have left him off of this show, dude. I was like, no, thank you. No more Wesley. Shut up, Wesley.
You know what the worst part was? And I felt bad for Will Wheaton because like when he was younger, and especially in Stand By Me, in early days of Star Trek The Next Generation, I thought he was an earnest actor. But now when I see him, he's not an actor. He's a presenter. He's a James Corden.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating because I was like, why are you here? And why are you not even Wesley? It's the same thing that I felt with Patrick Stewart. It's like, why are you here? And why are you not Jean-Luc Picard? You're being you.
At all. I didn't see Wesley at all. I'm like, why is Will Wheaton here? Smiling all over the fucking place like he's some kind of fucking weird child killer. Like, who the hell are you, dude? Why are you on my show?
I think it's a weird thing, and I feel bad just to take a step outside of the whole Star Trek thing and look at what it's like to be Will Wheaton. I'm pretty sure it's a hard knock life. If you've got you've got like a million people who are waiting to say, "Shut up, Wesley."
But that's a great reason to not have him on the show. Then.
Well, no, but he used to be, as a child actor, he was talented, and I don't know. There's something about the fame. I don't know what it is. Look, I don't want to judge, but
I get it. But it's not entirely his fault. What's he been in lately? Nothing. He hosts after shows. So
he was in The Big Bang Theory.
No, that show sucks. Anyways,
don't worry about it. So was I.
Anyways, so enough ranting on that.
Yeah. So anyway, out of 4 pips, how many do you give
Picard?
How do you give Picard season 2?
So season 1, I gave 1 pip.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, I give 1.5 pips. Wow.
Yeah. No,
because I liked the first 2 episodes. I think the first 2 episodes are solid. The rest of the show meanders. It's ridiculous, and then the ending is whatever it is. It ends.
Well, you know what I would give? Yeah, I'll give season 1 of Picard no pips, just sort of like enlisted, and then season 2 ensign, but that is so much to do with Agnes.
Yeah. Is that
Q.
one? Or is that a hollowed out pip?
No. That's just 1 pip.
Just 1 pip. Okay.
Yeah. Acting ensign is a hollow pip.
Yeah. Okay. So we got.
So I guess season 1 is an acting ensign, and then season 2 is an ensign, but none of them are steering. None of them are at the helm. Yeah. So, yeah.
I like Nikki. 0 pips.
Nikki knows what's going on. Shall we go through? We've had a bunch of chats.
Yeah, let's do it. Here, I'll go up.
Do you want to go control the chats?
I'll control the chat. You read the chat. How about that?
Huzzah. I like this plan. Mr. Brown Alliance, ahoy, sir. Thank you for being here. Cinema Gulp, I'm sorry. I thought it said strange nude girls. I'll see myself out. No, that's the only reason I watched.
Right.
Mr. Brown says Strange New Worlds was okay, but left a bitter taste a couple of times. I can see that. I can agree with that.
For me, I didn't. It didn't for me, but I wasn't. So I was actually watching this with different eyes. I was not watching this as critically, probably, as I would Picard or Disco. It's probably because I want this thing to be good. So there's that.
Anti-derivative Jill in the chat says, and also if you're a fan of Star Trek or Star Wars, you should go over and subscribe to Anti-Derivative Jill. She has a great Orville podcast. I don't know why I said Star Wars. I think I was on Copilot. But yeah, she does great analysis of both Star Trek and the Orville, and does it with heart. And you know what my favorite part is that she doesn't pay attention to shit she hates, which is great. Jill says, although those clothes being teleported through the buffer was some silly nonsense, agreed. The magical transporter is back. Yes. I have to lurk, but there are many problems. Many. Yeah, it's true. Have you ever seen Spock's brain?
Yeah.
Son of a Red Shirt says, at Scotty and Steve, cheers. Strange New Worlds had a lot of canon issues, admittedly. I'm the one who's frozen. Was I the one who was frozen? I was.
Yeah.
No. Had a lot of Conan issues, admittedly. However, looking forward to more. I think this is a huge step in the right direction. I do agree.
I think Scotty and I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, that if you're looking for canonical Star Trek in that kind of timeline that we're for old Trek, you're not going to get that with this new regime. It's just never going to do anything like that. So if that's what gets your fancy and that's what makes you watch, you're just going to be disappointed all the time with this. It's never going to go back to that. That's unfortunate.
Well,
it's just the truth.
Do you think that it's going to be a situation where you're basically enjoying the cover band?
Maybe, yes. But you know what? As somebody that loves comic books and comic book stories, I'm used to Elseworlds and alternative timelines and that stuff. So, I just kind of convinced myself that this is a different timeline, same characters, same things kind of happen in ways, but there's still things that are going to be different, and just kind of look at it that way, because they've already ruined it for me. Right. So I can either be bitter and watch it just to hate watch it all the time, or, I can say, okay, let's go on with this alternate timeline or this alternate universe.
Well, and I think that
but still say, not give them passes for being ridiculous. Right.
Well, and I think that you and I are being earnest when we say we want to go into a new Star Trek and be like, be good, please be good.
Oh, yeah.
Please be good.
Just well, I do that with everything. With movies, with TV shows that I want to say, I just want it to be good. Just, And unfortunately, so far, New Trek has not been good.
And save a few exceptions.
Episodes, they'll have Star Trek moments, just little tiny moments that you're like, yeah. But as a whole, they're just not good. And for me, Discovery has never felt like Star Trek ever once.
Yeah. So. Mr. Brown Alliance says, Anson Mount, best thing to happen to Star Trek in 17 years. Right? See?
Yeah, man.
I agree with you. Todd Michael says, this is what was 7 minutes to go. Incorrect. Todd Michael, this is not it. I don't know what she was talking about. Hey. Son of a Red Shirt says, Sam Kirk, Security Chief Khan? Yeah. Some bizarre name-based bait and switch happening. Right. You know what? And the Kirk, I think, was an unnecessary fucking dangling joke. Like, not even keys. Because it was taken away. But then, and I didn't even know how it was going to work. Like, they presented that puzzle in the first act of the show. And they were like, Lieutenant Junior Grade Kirk is coming up as per your request for some reason.
Like, what?
And it's like, what are you talking about? And then when it ends up being George or Sam.
Did he have a mustache?
Yes.
Okay. So it was Sam then.
It's his brother, but I don't remember from Memory Alpha or anything like that in terms of like, I knew he was posted to, the planet with the killer pancakes. Do you remember that episode? Anyway,
barely.
It's like, oh my God, it's such a good episode.
Says forced canon, he says.
It is forced canon, and that's weird. Jill says, indeed. I hope she's referring to my invitation to talk about Star Trek with her. I can't wait to talk about some real Star Trek with you. Hashtag 735 Club. I'm assuming that's how many episodes are in 1966 to 2005.
Word. Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait to have you. So it'll be awesome.
We are working on it, Jill. It's all my fault. Leia's World. Leia? Princess Leia? Princess Leia.
Does work.
New here. What's the general tone of the fan base regarding Strange New Worlds? I think we're hopefully optimistic for it, as we are all the time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Jill says they are retconning.
We got to this during the show.
So then, all right. Cinema Gulp says, excuse me, Egon. You said Crossing the Streams was bad. Oh my God. Tim's talk. Hey, Tim. Thanks again for having me and Kat on your May the 4th extravaganza where we reacted to the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. And I was obnoxious and everyone else was intelligent and lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, I didn't read his comment though.
Oh, I don't think it was for us.
Kathy.
I think
Text me.
Said this was yeah. Okay, cool.
Anyway, Jill says no. He says in Amok Time that that he hoped he'd be spared from going into Pon Farr due to being half human, meaning it's his first time. Jill, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you and I both have to reinvestigate the rules of Pon Farr. Separately, of course. And they only met when they were children, not adults. Maybe they met at their first puberty. I don't know how Vulcans do it. It is a very private species.
Right.
Nikki Cunningham. And also, thank you. Welcome to the jam, lady.
That's right.
Or gentlemen. I don't want to assume anyone's gender. JT Kirk will be played by Paul Wesley.
Yes.
I don't know who TF is playing Sam Kirk.
Yeah,
well, and that's
that actor's name either, but
I
checked Paul Wesley. Paul Wesley, I think from the Vampire Diaries, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He's a good actor. He's a TV actor.
It's kind of weird. Like there's a rule with like Batman where you don't have multiple actors playing Batman at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they care about rules over there at Secret Hideout.
Nikki says, I don't know if you can call Picard a Star Trek show. It wasn't even in space. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, you get space in 2 episodes, I think. Oh, yeah, you're right. Who cares?
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it a Star Trek episode. It didn't feel like Star Trek either.
Yeah.
It's a Patrick Stewart
bus
show.
Trek for one episode. Police car Trek.
Yeah, right.
Nikki says, can we just memory hole Picard?
Yes.
It's a bit traumatic. Well, yeah, no, but unfortunately, someone from the continuum will show up later when you're half robot, and they're going to make you relive this trauma later on and say, let it go, Nikki.
Yes, let it go.
Don't die alone.
Don't die alone. That's why
Nikki goes on to say, I like that there was a sense of command structure and very little crying in Strange New Worlds. Yeah, me too.
During the show. Yeah, me too. God, me too.
And again to Captain Pike. He thinks he's going to die, not realizing he will walk upright with Vina again. Broken bodies, but imagining virility, and together in love for as long as the Telosians will have them. And yes, 1 for no? Okay. Beep.
1 for no.
No, wait.
No,
2 for yes. Twice for yes.
Yeah,
beep,
twice
beep. Beep, beep.
2 beeps. Yes, yes.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
Chin Riley is her last name.
Is that the lady who plays Lieutenant Singh?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know who Chin Riley is.
I'm not sure either. Well, we'll have to look at that and come back to it.
Nikki says Tasha Yar's actor didn't want to be there, I thought. She wanted a bigger part. Well, I think that you get... It's such a... Okay. Denise Crosby, absolutely. And I thought she was great as Tasha Yar. I thought that Yesterday's Enterprise really elevated her death in Skin of Evil.
I think so too. And you know what? I actually, looking back on the series and rewatching it a million times like I have, I actually like the way she pops up throughout the series. I think more so than if she stayed.
Well, and also it shows her importance when she shows up in All Good Things.
Yeah.
Like, and there's even a scene with Jean-Luc Picard, not Patrick Stewart, where he sits there and he turns around and Beverly's there and he's like, maybe it's Troy. And Deanna says, "What is it?" And he's like,
"I was just
Tasha.
Yeah.
I was just with Tasha." And it blows his mind that he could be.
Right.
And it's part of the emotional gut punch.
Elevates her image elevates Measure of a Man as well.
Oh, for sure. When the holographic dice ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's one of the key reasons I believe that what was her name? Peppa ruled in his favor.
Oh yeah, no. Pippa Levesque.
Pippa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the Judge Advocate General.
Yeah. Jag.
Jill says they did Tasha dirty, but that's because Denise Crosby thought she was too good for Star Trek and went off to be a movie star. No, but this is what I'm saying. Here's the thing, is that it doesn't matter if it's a playoff game on a Sunday and you're in the World Series or whatever. You want to call in for sick. You want to call in sick for work no matter what your job is. And if all you're doing is standing there and be lit without any job and you're just being bored for money, you're going to leave. And I think that's what happened to Denise. We're not on a first name basis. Miss Crosby. Jill says the Orville definitely did a better send off for the security officer with Alara. I thought so too, but that was also a sort of a serialized thing. And I miss Alara too. But I like the new one. I don't know her name, but I do like her. I know the actress's name, but Jill says, who were the only crew on the USS Archer for reasons? I think it was a limited crew to investigate and offside.
Yeah, but where were the rest of the crew? It wasn't just 3 people on the Archer.
It was a saucer section with 1 nacelle.
Didn't
necessarily need.
Crew, it's 50 plus people. Where were they?
Yeah, I would say at least 15. Come on, how many does it take to staff the Defiant? Small. Yeah, okay, Nikki, I'm wrong. All right, it didn't make any sense. They couldn't hire enough extras. Jill says, warp bomb? What even is that? They just witnessed a battle and reverse engineered it, but how? They never explain it. I can look at the sun and study it well, but not know how it harnessed fusion power.
No, I think what they did was get telemetry from that. So there's a lot you can do with telemetry.
Yeah,
with that close, and it was they should have.
It also could be a situation. It could be a situation of secret hideout not knowing how light years work.
I feel like Jill says, I feel like a warp bomb is just a stabilized matter and antimatter container.
Well, no, but they had that. They had a warp. If that's what a warp bomb is, they used that in Obsession when they were trying to get the cloud creature with Kirk, with Lieutenant Garovic. Or Ensign Garovic, I forget. Jill says more reasons he can magically teleport the medicine in a glass container, but Spock's eye doesn't end up with broken glass everywhere. Why is his eye? What is up with his eye? Were they beaming it into his eye?
It looked like it. It looked like his eyes actually changed a little bit of. I don't know.
I thought that was just an indication that he had been given the
I'd have
medicine.
to rewatch the episode again. Like I said, I only watched the episode once, so. But
and again, we're looking at this through a fine tooth. We're combing through it.
Yeah, we're getting a little nerdy.
Well, and I hate to pull a Star Trek 5 on you, but it's not about the lyrics, you green-blooded Vulcan. If it turns out to be the worst thing ever and it's not a good collection of Star Trek, then yes, I will turn my tail and run and say, I don't even really want to watch this anymore. And that's how it'll go. But if it's good, I'd rather be, yay, this looks good on the ground floor. I'm not getting on a bandwagon. People don't like it. That's not my problem. I want to like it. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying generally.
Generally. What's next?
Jill, my bestest friend. Sorry, I didn't mean to overstep. The science fiction is what is important to me in Star Trek, and New Trek entirely disregards it. But that's just for me. That's great if you like it. And again, absolutely. And this does feel a bit more like a morality play than science fiction.
Yeah.
So, and Archer does deserve.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to push back a little bit on that, because I think at its core, that's what great Star Trek is, though. But the science, that's what, at least TNG, the original series forward to Enterprise, were all morality plays, really well written in metaphor and allegory, but also had a strong sense of sci-fi in it. The science fiction part was actually based in some kind of at least theoretical physics and science, and not magic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it when they do that, and it's just like that was reasons.
Jill says Archer deserves a prettier ship. I agree. Yeah. As a huge Archer and Enterprise fan.
Agreed. As am I.
That was hilarious. I don't know what we're talking about there. Sorry about that.
It was probably you. You're the funny one.
Yeah.
Nikki says, oh, yeah, the 37s. And during the battle of those Delta Q Klingons. Delta Q Klingons.
Yeah.
But the 37s is an episode of Voyager. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
A montage. Anytime you want to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage. A Starfleet training montage.
That's right.
Was that a Team America reference?
I think so.
Wicked cool. Is that it?
No. This is a new one. Are you not seeing it on your screen?
Oh, wait. Pardon me. No, I just never learned to read. I get the idea of telling them, if you keep doing this, you're going to destroy yourselves. That's fine, but you're right. They're not ready for everything.
No. They weren't ready for most anything, but at that point in time, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So what are you going to do? You have to just move forward. And probably the best way is not to just leave them to their own devices, bring them into the Federation and have diplomats go and help them with their development. And that's the way I read that anyways. That's the way it came across to me. I don't know.
Well, no, but it does make sense, but it's sort of like you revealed yourselves to the whatever. It started with a K. The Kathleen's. And
I think was it Keltis?
It was Keltis. I think it was Keltis. Good work, dude. But yeah, no. But they didn't deserve everything just because they had figured out how to make a antimatter bomb. Montage. Some critics got 5 episodes. I did see
yeah.
that, Nikki. Yeah. And they said it is a lot of the same as episode 1. Yeah, but I heard that it was sort of more like a warm blanket as opposed to tedium. It wasn't something that you fall asleep for. It's something that you get comfortable with. 3 out of 4 pips. All right. Well, that's I gave that too.
That was Scotty's. They have like 30 producers and 2 writers. Yeah, we're talking. Yeah.
No, I checked. I counted. It was 22.
22 producers?
Yeah. Co-executive producers, supervising producers, executive producers.
Dude, I know. It's good.
It's incredible.
It seems to me like it actually smacks of they're doing the same thing right now with the Fast and Furious franchise, where it's like they're just way overpaying all their buddies. Like, hey man, you want to make some big money? Just hey, come be in my movie. You know,
that's how MC Hammer went bankrupt, was by having a huge entourage.
Who cares what it's like? We're gonna make a boatload of dough. Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I did like that they actually, so what I liked about the first, I like the opening sequence, the opening title sequence song. I like the fact that it's a Space the Final Frontier. I think that Anson Mount actually earned it before he got to say it.
Yeah.
Like, I really like Anson Mount. I think he's a good pipe.
It's a highlight of the show, for sure.
I think I like him better than Bruce Greenwood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and he's Bruce Greenwood, Canadian. So, but the thing is that I liked about the cast listing, first of all the main cast are in there. They don't have character names, which I don't like, because traditionally Star Trek does have the character names with everybody. But I do enjoy that it is Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, and the rest, and Rebecca Romijn. I like that she gets the "and" credit, because we're talking about Mystique, right? She is the biggest star she's the legacy star.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I think that she's great. And I hope that Rebecca Romijn becomes one of the great ambassadors of Star Trek.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Nikki says, they are not people anymore. They are Borg. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, no. But this is why I'm picking Rebecca Romijn over Jerry Ryan, is because of this line. They are not people anymore. They are Borg. Remember Lily's berating and admonishing of Picard in First Contact? And it's like, really? Did you give that chance to Ensign Lynch?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There has been emotional precedent of, no, it's a living being. Save it. Jill says, I didn't see past episode 3. Good for you. I saw that on Twitter and thought that was a Photoshop. Nope. That was Agnes Girardi as the Borg Queen, and it looked weird.
Weird. It did not look good.
Especially considering how hot she was through the rest of the show. And then finally...
the Borg Queen that we got in the beginning, the makeup effects were great.
That was because they still had the makeup.
Yeah. It's just
they had to incorporate it into this weird Iron Man suit.
Yes, I didn't like it.
Dr. Octopus, Iron Man, whatever the hell. Nikki says,
Dr. Iron Puss.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stop. Sorry, you're going to make it come out my nose. Nikki Cunningham says, Wheaton never grew out of that I just got my first boner face. Well, the thing is that I don't understand why he always has to explain and emote like this. Like, it's just really, it's derogatory. It's condescending.
Yeah, it's condescending, weird, and this weird fucking smile on his face. It's just like, dude,
even
what
if you
are you, dude? What are you doing?
And that's even better. If you don't want to put any sort of intention behind his voice, just what you would call it without it being spoken to you, it is either saccharine or cult-like.
Yeah, right? Yeah, or both.
That is my opinion of Will Wheaton, and I wish him the best.
Yeah, I wish him the best too. Just,
he probably doesn't rent. Nikki says the entire season could have been one episode, maybe a two-parter. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, at the beginning, I thought it would be a good idea. Let's take this, this Q, episode, this Q teaching, out of time moment that we were so accustomed to him doing in one episode or a multi-part episode in TNG, and let's spread it across this season, which would have look, with better writers and a better story, it would have worked. It would have worked great. It could have worked, I should have said. But the way they did it was awful. It was horrifying.
Steve, you remember the show Sherlock, right? With Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman?
I didn't watch the show, but I know of it, yes.
Well, and you know that it was like basically every season was 3 TV movies.
I didn't know that, but that's awesome.
Yeah. I think that sort of structure might have worked better, not only for the show, because you're basically making a 2-parter every episode, right? But you have to make less episodes, and it's almost like watching 3 movies.
But I don't think the structure was the problem. The writing and the story were the problem. So if it doesn't really matter how you slice and dice it or not, it comes down to story, character, and we didn't get any of that.
You know what I would challenge? I would challenge someone to make something coherent about Star Trek Picard season 2. I think that all the pieces are there. I just think that they're messed up like a broken Jenga.
No, because some of the writing was just bad.
It was, but I think that someone good could do something good with it.
Well, yeah. So story wise, yes, somebody could take that and rewrite the story. Yeah,
through editing.
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think the pieces are there. Maybe, but that would truncate the season to about half.
Don't care.
Okay, boom.
Is it shorter now? Great. Nikki Cunningham, 0 pips both seasons. Understood. That sounds like a red shirt.
Yeah. By the way.
Anti-derivative Jill. I can't vote because I can't allow any Kurtzman Drek to join Starfleet.
Yeah, I get you. I get it.
Well, and I would say that does not adhere. You know what? Don't treat Kurtzman Trek like Barclay. You have to encourage. You have to try and find the good and see where they fit.
Okay.
I don't like short treks, but I do like H. John Benjamin. So I see that one where the tribbles are ruined. And I'm just like, H. John Benjamin. That's a great time. Just open your heart to whatever good is there and ignore everything that you don't like.
Okay. Let's go. Let's move on.
And that's the problem. As long as we have Secret Hideout, we can't get real Star Trek back.
That's correct.
But we always have it.
Yeah.
I'll give you one moment. When Spock said to use knowledge of death as a benefit, turning a negative into a positive is a huge Trek theme.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. Agreed.
And that's what I mean. That's why you got to give it at least a pip. Nikki says, rank your Star Trek series for me. I got DS9 TNG, Voyager, TOS Enterprise.
Well, we have.
Okay. No, I know we have. I know we have. And this is documented on this channel. But I want, like, the list is there. What do you got?
For me?
Yeah. What do you say right now?
So right now it's TNG, Deep Space Nine,
2,
Enterprise, the original series, and Voyager, which I think is the exact way I said it on our show too.
I have no recollection. This is just how I'm feeling today.
Word.
TOS, DS9, TNG, Enterprise, Voyager.
Awesome.
I don't know if that's the way I said it before, but that's the way I said it again.
The Killer Pancakes.
The Killer Pancakes. Operation Annihilate. Yeah.
Here's Jill's list.
TOS, DS9. The animated series. You mad woman.
We don't put
You
anime.
you put the animated series over TNG. You
That's crazy. Actually, you know what? Those stories are good. And I was telling Scotty on, I think, off air on one of our chats that you could actually, when we get to the point where all the deepfake stuff works, really works past the uncanny valley, you could actually just redo the animated show in a live action with deepfake technology. That would be awesome because you have all the components and you just use the original actors, you deepfake them, and I think it'd be great.
Well, did you see
the stories are awesome in that show? By the way,
did you see that they did a Star Trek: The Next Generation animated series sort of short?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that was great.
That was good. All right,
it's ma'am.
It's ma'am.
Nikki, says Tim.
All right, let's see. It's kind of a little back and forth chat.
Emotional damage.
Oh, okay, so this is what I thought Jill was talking about. It's Una Chin Riley.
Oh, that's number one's name.
One. Yeah.
Oh, heavens. Tala is the new security officer on the Orville. Yes, thank you. Tasha did more than just stand there. I thought she did cool stuff and was great. The whole standing there was just saying, "I, sir," was just what Denise said. But you're right. Well, and again,
I don't agree with her. I never agreed with that assessment by Denise Crosby. She was always a pivotal part of the first season. I thought. At least I thought. I don't think she was just standing there saying, "I, sir."
Well, it's also kind of weird just in terms of the dynamic on the bridge during that time as well, when you had Yar and Tasha, or sorry, Yar and Worf.
Yeah.
Like there was someone extra there.
Yeah.
It's just, and the way it went.
It made sense. It made sense that to me, at least, that she left. So that's fine. She was a better character as a guest star. So it all worked out. I agree, and I think I said that earlier. Like I think it actually made her guest star roles even more important.
Tasha Yar made other actors' roles more interesting. Like remember Ishara Yar?
Yeah, dude, that was great. That's a great episode too.
The only reason you gave two shits about that chick is because of Tasha.
Well, and that skin tight outfit she had on.
Oh no, totes camel toe. Yeah, for sure.
That's good. That's gonna be my ringtone. Yeah, totes camel toe for sure. Oh, okay. I got to get off that. I'm starting to get silly. We gotta wrap this up.
We should.
Two more.
Nikki says to Jill, Tala's cool too. Just love the idea of the super strength for sure. Oh no. And by the way, I would like to say that so far we are on day 11 of me not subscribing to Disney Plus because She-Hulk is not out yet.
You should. Moon Knight was amazing.
I'm not going to see it until I subscribe for She-Hulk.
Last one.
And anti-derivative Jill says, yes, I like Tala too. All right. Well, thanks, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, this was great. It was awesome to get back in the saddle and do a show together. It's been a while.
Well, and especially something that we like.
Yeah, totally. Well, something we like and something that we really didn't like in Picard.
No, but we like Star Trek as an umbrella.
Yes, we do. Anything coming up that we want to shout out before we get the hell out of here on a Friday?
No, I don't think so. You can find me at ScottyR37 on the Twitter. Also, yeah, the Fantasmagorium show on the YouTube where you're watching this currently. We're also on Twitch.
All that good stuff. We'll probably start doing some more shows like this. I think Jill will come hopefully, and we'll do some other sets of stuns to talk about Trek in general. We'll probably, as long as Strange New Worlds is this good or better, we'll do after shows for it. I think for the regular Phantasmagorium show, we may do a new Star Trek show and review or at least discuss the episodes of Obi-Wan. So there's some stuff.
Star
I'm sorry,
Wars.
Star Wars. I'm on Star Trek mind. Sorry.
Check your midichlorians.
Thank you very much. So there's some things in the works, and hopefully we'll get to do those and have some fun. So
we are like a bad penny. We always show up.
We always show up. Well, almost always. So unless you have anything else, Scotty.
Subscribe to Cinema Gulp.
Yes, subscribe to Cinema Gulp. Go check out Tim Talk. Mr.
Brown's Alliance. If you're absolutely fucking bored, you should go to Captain Cockney's Spa.
Yes.
Anyway.
Very, very, very much stream of consciousness. If you have
all the friends of the channel, we love you and thank you for being here. All the people who don't like us, thank you for staying away.
So for Scotty R37, I am Steve Foley, and that'll do it for us today. Computer in program.